One of the other characteristics of the Super Trunk Show I love so much is it's not just about shoes. It's really about classic menswear. And we have a great example of that right here. Lewis with Charles Paige. Lewis, thank you so much for being a gold sponsor at this year's Super Trunk Show.
Happy to be here.
And you're doing great work. And what I appreciate about Charles Paige is I think it represents in so many ways that evolution of classic menswear. I mean, we all start, I feel like, or so many of us with our bespoke pieces being formal. Yeah. But I often say that the real zenith is whenever that filters down to your everyday casual wear. Yeah. And the moment that you're having that made, you're having interesting models, created, and you're wearing it, on a Saturday or a Sunday or a day off and at work, that's whenever you've truly arrived. And that is really what it is that you specialize in.
Yeah, I think finding versatility in most of the garments, like you said, as we wear like throughout the week, not just to work. People aren't wearing as much tailoring maybe as they used to, unfortunately. So we're just trying to like, how do we take some of these beautiful fabrics that were made for suiting or outerwear and then move that into a more casual kind of wardrobe piece? So, kind of some of these examples, this is what I call a Japanese painter's jacket. So this is based off the people that sit there and paint Mount Fuji in Japan. Uh-huh. So we've kind of got 4 pockets here, on the back, on the front, up here. And this is like completely unlined, but this is a piano jacketing fabric.
Wow. So this is a heavyweight fabric.
This is a heavyweight fabric, but we can do it in a linen, a cotton in the summer.
But I love the fact that, again, it's an overshirt, right?
Correct.
And, whenever I think about my casual wear, on the weekends or whenever I'm not dressed in a suit and tie, I really do prefer to have something over my shoulders.
100%.
Right? So, you have a dress shirt, but then you have something on over it. It still allows you to accessorize, have something interesting. But I also find that I'm just simply more comfortable.
Yeah, and you can sunnies in there, pocket square, whatever you want, but with a t-shirt, with a collared shirt, with a turtleneck or a crew neck, it works with everything. And denim, a nice pair of pleated trousers works just as well. So these are kind of some of the things, and then we've also got like our classic field jacket, which is obviously
and what is this made out of? A camel hair?
This is a camel hair, yes.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, so absolutely beautiful. And again, just like pieces that guys might not think to come and get custom or tailored. Of course you can.
It looks like.
Yeah.
So often people think about tailored clothing as being only a suit and tie.
And it's not. That's what I get a lot of people saying, like, I don't wear suits, but we're so much more than that.
But look at this. This is fantastic.
This is absolutely great.
And even with the tie, right? But I mean,
with the tie,
without the tie, I could take the tie off.
With a pair of like denim, selvage denim, with, a nice scarf like over there if you want to go on like a Saturday, Sunday kind of look. It's really super versatile. And, that's what I love about like going outside the box more so than your just classic suit jacket or a sport jacket. So, yeah.
What's your thinking in terms of kind of the play between fabric and models, right? So you've got a lot of fantastic models, but also part of the joys of custom tailoring is accessing those interesting fabrics. So how do you combine those two together to create something where the sum is greater than the parts?
Yeah, that's a great question, because you get these collections from the mills and it'll say, specifically jacketing. And I think maybe 5 years ago, I'd look at that and I'd be like, that's a great sport coat, or that's a great suit. And then kind of stop at that. Mm-hmm. So now looking at cloth and, maybe looking at like a denim's big this season. So looking at that and saying, oh, that's not just for a pair of pants. That might look good, in an overshirt, in a work shirt, or in like an overcoat or something like that, maybe a pea coat. But like, that's kind of where you kind of got to look and be like, think outside the box in terms, because that's where you're going to pitch to my customers, right? So,
well, it's one of the characteristics or qualities of a great, bespoke tailor or kind of made-to-measure guy is not only, I say there's 3 elements of quality here. One is you have to have an opinion.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's what you're talking about is, someone that is able to be creative, right? That's in it and sees the possibilities that where, someone like myself wouldn't, because I'm not really kind of thinking about it every day. Having opinions, incredibly important, right? Knowledge of fabric you have, it's very clear.
That's my fault. That's the reason why I fell in love with this.
And then the third one, I think, is just the attention to detail.
Yeah.
Right. And, again, looking at the models like the Japanese painter, that's, again, someone could look at this and think it's a shirt jacket, right?
Yeah.
But it's not just a shirt jacket. Like there's some nuanced characteristics to the way that that's made that makes it more.
100%. And making sure I'm creating examples for this in my showroom. So when clients come in, they can see. And that's been the benefit. I just launched in Soho earlier in the year. So people
you're
being
based
able to
here in New
come,
York?
based here in New York, but just having people come in and they're like, oh, I've never seen that before. That looks great. What else can we do this in? And then kind of going into certain fabrics based on their lifestyle, based on the occasions that they're wearing it in. That's how we kind of filter down to find really the perfect piece for, the client.
And do you travel with trunk shows?
I do travel trunk shows, do a lot in Texas, Florida, San Antonio, Austin, Houston, and Dallas.
Oh, you got a commune here in Dallas.
Yeah. So I'll be there in November.
Okay.
And then, Miami, I'm actually going to, and then Chicago, going there next week. And there's always some possibilities. So I try and stay like Eastern Seaboard. But actually I was in Vegas 2 weeks ago. That was good.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, for work or for pleasure?
For work. So some good clientele out there. I think like an untapped market, especially in some of those like cities out west.
Absolutely. And if someone is looking, to reach out,
Yes.
of course, if they're visiting New York, they can come see you in Soho.
Yes.
But what about someone that maybe, isn't able to connect with you on a trunk show and isn't traveling to New York? Can they still reach out and work with you?
Yeah. I have a lot of clients that I'd say like 50% of my clientele aren't in New York.
Yeah.
So they can always start with some of our ready to wear patterns. We can always go off that. And I've also had people where they can go to, a tailor or an alteration place, get measured up.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good with, photos. I don't like to delve too deep into like maybe making 10 suits for them on one side, but
but especially for the casual piece.
For casual pieces for sure, which are ready to wear, knitwear's ready to wear, or things just as you want to start with a pair of pants and a shirt. And I do a lot of, fittings over FaceTime, which became pretty big during COVID.
So walk me through a few of these other models just to kind of see what you have.
This is a collaboration we did with Informale. They're a Melbourne-based, I guess almost like workwear tailoring brand. So Steve Calder's a good friend of mine. We met at Pitti about like 8 years ago. And so they have this 1950s inspired French work shirt that they make in a moleskin. And I was like, I want something that's more spring, summer, early spring, early fall base. So we did this in a 100% Japanese cotton, which surprisingly is incredibly kind of crease resistant.
Got a nice hand.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. And again, just like another great overshirt, kind of different to the painter's jacket. It's more of, I'd say like a, bit more utilitarian looking, so to speak. But completely unlined, a lot lighter, something you could probably wear with like a t-shirt, more so than like a collared shirt, with a pair of jeans. So yeah, just super easy. And this is $595. So trying to go to,
and this is
more of an entry level
part
price
of
point.
a ready to wear collection, right? So
This is part of our ready to wear collection, along with,
And is this the same model but different color?
Same in the navy, which is great. Real horn buttons there.
I have to say, I love my overshirts. I use them so much, especially when traveling.
100%. And then we've got some other kind of pieces, just a simple kind of jersey pop over, which has been the hybrid between a polo and
do you do denim as well?
I do denim. So we do made to measure denim. We have about 25 different colors in kind of your collared chinos, selvage, and just kind of regular denim. So just great. We can do them in 2 different washes, no wash, customize all kind of the stitching, but I kind of say no to a lot of people when they try to get too crazy. That's an important word in tailoring, no.
Well, I was having denim made a long time ago by 3x1 here in New York, who's since closed. And I called them my dress denim because I had tone-on-tone stitching, no rivets.
Yep.
And so it was a very kind of dressy denim.
Yeah, that's not.
But what's amazing is being able to access the incredible array of Japanese and Italian denims. It's like once you fall down that rabbit hole,
I know
it's difficult to climb out.
Yeah, exactly. And that's something that we introduced about 1.5 years ago. It's been super successful. And then we do a bunch of knitwear as well. So knitwear just made outside of Milan, in Italy, and everything from kind of your, Johnny Collar polo. This is in 100% wool, and then things to like, your 100% cashmere, micro fisherman's rib crew neck.
I love knitwear.
Turtleneck, and I've got some other pieces on the way. This is a tech cotton cashmere kind of hoodie, which again, like guys traveling, like a little more.
Got to stay relevant to the times.
We're trying.
Yeah. Well, Well, Lewis, thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you for coming to the Super Trunk Show here in New York.
Anytime.
We hope to see you back next year.
Sure.
And of course, anyone that is interested in Charles Paige, find him on Instagram, find him on the internet,
Yeah,
and can find him here in New York City. So thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
Appreciate it.